Ambassador John Bolton has just made this announcement. The president believes that the next bilateral meeting with President Putin should take place after the Russia witch hunt is over. So we've agreed that it will be after the first of the year. Mark and Clint, hang on for me. I want to bring in Kelly O'Donnell, who's with us. Kelly, I thought that they were working on making this imminent, but then I also heard that Vladimir Putin seemed to be putting the president off.
Well, this is an interesting turn of events, and it is significant, and it is to be measured also in the fallout that we saw from the Helsinki meeting. The original plan was that an invitation was extended to Vladimir Putin when he's in the United States for the UN General Assembly in September to have a meeting in Washington. They didn't give a specific time or location, perhaps the White House, perhaps not, in September. Now, through John Bolton, the president's national security advisor, he is saying, and it's very notable, his language here, that they will wait until the, quote, witch hunt is over. So now the national security advisor to the president is using the president's pejorative term for the Mueller investigation, so that we have agreed it will be after the first of the year. So a presumption there that after the first of the year, the Mueller probe would be wrapped up. We don't know that either. But they are pushing off the next meeting with Vladimir Putin at a time when, certainly, if we use the September timeframe, that is right in the final couple of months before the midterm elections, when there are ballots across America with candidates and with high stakes for both parties. Democrats think they have the momentum to retake the House, and of course Republicans are trying to hold on. So to remove this issue is certainly notable.
Hold on, Kelly. Whose decision was this? Was this the president's decision? Because the president really wanted him to come in the fall, and despite all the pushback. And then there was news that Vladimir Putin was talking about meeting at the next G20 summit. So whose decision really was this?
Well, I don't know, Katie. It's breaking news. We just got it. So it's in the voice of John Bolton. But what is notable, I think, is that Bolton was the emissary on the invitation, and notable that they are using the language that the president, we could rip it from his Twitter feed and put it on this official statement from the White House. So we'll find out more as this develops, but it is significant because there was the plan, and my phone is ringing right now. I'm going to hope that source will hang on.
Now, Kelly, take the call. Take the call and tell us what you get.
And so it's a bulletin in that sense that we were expecting this Putin meeting. Now we know it's going to be delayed. When and will it happen next time? We don't know. But it certainly is a measure of the price politically that the president, the White House thinks they are paying for the president's interaction in Helsinki, and to some degree what Vladimir Putin may be thinking as well. Of course, they have their issues with the ongoing back and forth about the offer, as it was described, that Putin made to try to have Americans interviewed for things that the Russian Federation thinks that they've done improperly. So it's an interesting turn.
And
Katie?
Michael McFaul at the White House today talking about that. Kelly O'Donnell, take that phone call. Let us know what you find out.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.